As for cut and fill software, there are a multitude of software available for cut and fill takeoff. The software will help the aid of the cost manager in their analysis of the land and conditions currently present on site. It is important to note that in order to meet the effective takeoff, geotechnical and topographical surveys must be performed. This will help you quantify the most accurate data set for your estimate. These surveys can be transported into a site plan and uploaded to the specialized software for ease of measurement. Examples of software that can employ this type of technology include 12D Model, AutoCAD Civil 3D, and Cubella Cubed. So in this portion of the module, we're going to walk you through a software by the name of Cubella Cubed to show you how cut and fill quantity takeoff can be aided through technology. The idea is not to have you become an expert on this software or any others available to you, but rather to show you that they do exist and how easy it can make your life when you are doing cut and fill quantity takeoff. So here you will see that the software will populate for you the cut quantity, the fill quantity, and then of course the net calculation for both the cut and the fill. All of the geotechnical and topographical data that we have been discussing earlier is already pre-populated into the plan, and it is crucial when doing cut and fill takeoff, as the software would be rendered useless without it. So quite simply, to get started, we're going to be quantifying a 100 tall by 200 wide site plan. And that begins by simply populating your points on the corners of the site. And cutting off the grid. The software will automatically populate the contours based on the topographical data. The blue represents your cut areas, and the red represents your fill areas. So now you can see that the software has calculated out roughly 330 cubic yards of cut and roughly 233 cubic yards of fill, bringing you to a net volume of roughly 100 cubic yards of excess soil that will need to be transported off-site. All of these quantities will be built into your estimate in order to properly capture all of the pricing data. You will need to account for the 330 cubic yards of cut area and the net 100 cubic yards of excess that will need to be transported off-site. Finally, you will need to quantify the equipment rental costs and the operating costs of that equipment for both of those operations. So, using our same site plan, let's say hypothetically that we do not have a typical rectangular building foundation that we're trying to build. Let's say it's more shaped like that of a U. We would begin by calculating the areas. And then cutting it off. Once again, you'll see that you have your cut areas quantified as 146 cubic yards, or the areas in blue, and the fill areas quantified in red for a total of 32.5 cubic yards, for a grand total of 115 cubic yards of excess soil that will need to be transported off-site. In the event that you did not have enough cut to fill up all the fill areas, you would need to either cut down areas from other parts of the site or bring soil into the site in order to make sure that you had enough materials to complete the operation. But as you can see, the software is very easy to manipulate and can aid greatly when trying to quantify cut and fill takeoff areas. Finally, you can see a sample breakdown of our cut and fill estimate. Our first item, equipment rental, will be all the necessary equipment in order to perform the operation. Next, you will see that we have a line item for bulk excavation, representing the total amount of earth that must be cut. Finally, you have a line item for carting, which is the net amount of soil that will need to be transported off-site. As you saw in the previous module with the software, these quantities can be transported into our estimate and pricing can later be applied. Thank you all. We hope that this has been informative, and we will see you next time.